Have you ever wondered what lies beyond the physical world we perceive with our senses? It's a question that has intrigued mankind for millennia. This curiosity has led us down the path of spirituality and exploration of the unseen, the intangible, and the divine. It's not about religion or dogma, but rather a personal journey towards understanding the bigger picture of our existence. In the vast ocean of spiritual wisdom, one text stands out for its profound insights: the Bhagvadgeeta. A conversation between Prince Arjuna and Lord Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. It's a timeless guide for life. It invites us to delve deeper, to look beyond the surface, and to seek the truth of our existence beyond the physical. These ancient words hold much relevance even in our modern lives, offering a perspective that can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. Diving into the Bhagvadgeeta, we uncover profound insights that can guide us on our spiritual journey. Bhagvadgeeta, an ancient Indian text, serves as a spiritual guide to millions worldwide. Often referred to as the manual of life, the Gita is not just a holy scripture that talks about God, but it also provides us with an insightful perspective on life and beyond. The Bhagvadgeeta is an integral part of the Indian spiritual tradition. It is a conversation that takes place on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, right before the onset of a great war. This conversation is between Prince Arjuna, a skilled and virtuous warrior, and Lord Krishna, who is his charioteer, mentor, and friend. Arjuna represents the human soul, and his chariot symbolizes the human body. The 5 horses pulling the chariot are the 5 senses that we humans possess, and the reins in the hands of Lord Krishna represent the mind. Krishna, being the charioteer, is the divine force within us that guides our actions and decisions, if we allow him to take control. The Bhagvadgeeta is significant because it encapsulates the wisdom of the Vedas, the ancient Indian scriptures, in a more accessible and practical form. It is a guide to self-realization, to understanding our duties, responsibilities, and the paths to spiritual enlightenment. It teaches us how to live a balanced life, how to handle difficulties, how to make decisions, and how to realize our true self. In essence, the Bhagvadgeeta is a dialogue about the dilemmas faced by Arjuna on the battlefield and the guidance provided by Krishna. These dilemmas are symbolic of the moral, ethical, and spiritual dilemmas that we face in our life. The Gita doesn't advocate for renunciation of the world. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of doing one's duty without attachment to the results. This principle of Karma Yoga, or the path of selfless action, is one of the fundamental teachings of the Bhagvadgeeta. The Bhagvadgeeta, through its verses, offers wisdom that transcends time and context. It is a timeless guide that can help us navigate through the complexities of life with grace, courage, and wisdom. The Bhagvadgeeta, though profound, can often appear complex, but worry not as we unravel its wisdom. Let's delve into the verses and their meanings. The Bhagvadgeeta, with its 700 shlokas, is a treasure trove of wisdom. We'll take a close look at a few of these verses, which, when understood, can provide guidance for our day-to-day life. Let's begin with a classic verse from chapter 2, verse 47. You have the right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. This verse is a call to action, urging us to focus on our tasks without getting attached to the outcomes. In practical terms, this could mean working diligently on a project without being overly concerned about the praise or criticism that might follow. It's about finding satisfaction in the process rather than the result. Next, we move to chapter 4, verse 7. Whenever there is a decline in righteousness and an increase in unrighteousness, at that time, I manifest myself on earth. This verse talks about the cyclical nature of the universe and the eternal struggle between good and evil. It's a reminder that in times of difficulty, we have the power within us to rise and bring about change. It's a call to action, urging us to stand up against injustice and unrighteousness. Now let's look at chapter 18, verse 66. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. This verse is about surrendering to the divine force and trusting in the process of life. It's about letting go of our fears and anxieties and trusting that we are being guided along the right path. In practical terms, this could mean letting go of control and allowing life to unfold as it is meant to. Lastly, let's consider chapter 6 verse 5. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. Here Krishna emphasizes the power of the mind. It can be our best friend or our worst enemy, depending on how we use it. It's a call to cultivate a positive mindset and to use our thoughts and emotions to uplift ourselves rather than bring us down. Each verse of the Bhagavad-Gita is a pearl of wisdom waiting to be discovered and understood. And while the language may seem archaic, the lessons are timeless and profoundly relevant to our modern lives. As we see, the Bhagavad Gita's verses, when understood, provide practical wisdom for our lives. So, what can we learn from these verses and how can they guide us in our lives? Firstly, the Bhagavad Gita teaches us about the art of living. It explains that life is an amalgamation of ups and downs, joy and sorrow, victory and defeat. Instead of getting swayed by these transient phases, we should learn to maintain equanimity in all situations. This perspective allows us to navigate life's challenges with grace and dignity, and not let our happiness be dictated by external circumstances. Secondly, the Gita encourages us to perform our duties sincerely and selflessly, without being overly attached to the outcomes. It emphasizes on karma yoga, the path of selfless action. By focusing on our actions and not on the fruits thereof, we can stay detached, reducing stress and anxiety. This lesson can be particularly beneficial in today's fast-paced, result-oriented world. The Gita also promotes the concept of dharma or righteousness. It urges us to always uphold truth and justice, even when the path seems difficult. It reminds us that righteousness ultimately leads to success and peace. This moral compass can guide us in making ethical decisions in our personal and professional lives. Another profound lesson is about the immortality of the soul. The Gita explains that the physical body is perishable, but the soul is eternal. This understanding can help us overcome the fear of death and view life and death as mere phases in the soul's journey. Lastly, the Gita teaches us about the importance of devotion and surrender. It assures us that those who surrender to the divine are liberated from all fears and sorrows. This faith can provide us with immense strength and resilience during trying times. In a nutshell, the Bhagavad Gita offers invaluable life lessons that can enrich our understanding of life and spirituality. Whether it's maintaining balance in life, performing duties selflessly, upholding righteousness, understanding the immortality of the soul, or surrendering to the divine, each lesson has the power to transform our lives. These lessons, when embraced, can lead us towards a more fulfilled and enlightened life. As we journey through the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, it's essential to reflect on its teachings. As we conclude our exploration of the Bhagavad Gita, let's take a moment to summarize the key points we've discussed. We've delved into the unseen, pondered on the essence of this sacred scripture, deciphered its profound verses, and derived life lessons from its teachings. At the heart of the Gita lies the concept of dharma, the moral and ethical duties we must fulfill. It teaches us to perform our tasks diligently, without attachment to the fruits of our actions. This principle, known as karma yoga, is a cornerstone of the Gita's philosophy. The Gita also emphasizes the importance of spiritual knowledge, or jnana yoga. It encourages us to seek the truth beyond the material world, to understand the eternal soul and its divine nature. The Gita guides us to realize that we are not just physical beings but spiritual entities in a temporary material existence. Moreover, we explored the concept of bhakti yoga, the path of devotion and surrender to the divine. It's through this unconditional love and devotion that we can attain the ultimate peace and liberation, according to the Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is not just a religious book but a guide to life. It offers a roadmap to navigate the complexities of the human experience, providing wisdom that transcends time and space. It's a beacon of light in the midst of darkness, offering solace, guidance, and hope. But the wisdom of the Gita is not meant to be merely read or heard. It's meant to be lived and experienced. It invites us to introspect, to question, to seek, and to discover. It encourages us to apply its teachings in our everyday lives, to become better versions of ourselves. Let's continue to ponder on these teachings, contemplate their meanings, and strive to incorporate them into our lives. Let's make the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita not just a part of our intellectual knowledge, but a part of our lived experience. Remember, the Bhagavad Gita's wisdom is a treasure trove waiting to be discovered and embraced in our spiritual journey.